is a gorgeous autumn Sunday in New England. It's a windy afternoon at Gillette Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys come to town 2-2 to take on the 4-1 New England Patriots. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman and Pam Oliver. I'm Tom Brenneman, and welcome to America's Game of the Week here on Fox. For the Cowboys, they had a bye week last week, and Troy probably needed it. Mentally, after the devastating loss to the Lions, physically, they're healthier coming into this game than they've been perhaps the entire year.
Yeah, and the big return is Miles Austin. He has not played the last 2 weeks, so another playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. You go into this game for Dallas and you say, we're going to have to score a lot of points. The big question is, where is Tony Romo? I know in visiting with him just the other night, he's optimistic. He feels good about the guys that he has on the outside to get the ball to, and he also knows that he's going up against the NFL's last-ranked defense against New England.
You talk about defense. Overall, Dallas ranks number 4 in that category, but I don't think there's any debate about it. This is the tallest order the Cowboys have faced all year, the way Tom Brady and the Patriots are playing offensively.
They're pretty good. You know, I mean, you come in and you play against the Patriots, you say, how are you going to slow down Tom Brady in this offense? Well, I'm not sure you're going to, because nobody has. They put up a lot of points, led by Wes Welker, and the things that he's able to do. However, Rob Ryan, the defensive coordinator, feels that he's got some things that are going to cause some confusion, some disruption to Tom Brady, along with the rest of those offensive players. This should be a good game.
Let's check in downstairs along the sideline with Pam Oliver.
Well, Tom, the Cowboys don't just like their chances, they love their chances. And excited Miles Austin, we are fighters. Des Bryant says we need to get off to a fast start. The wind today, it has been gusting at times, and on top of that, it is a crosswind, could impact both the passing and the kicking game today. Tom, back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. You see temperatures in the low 60s as we're just moments away from kickoff. Jason Garrett, 45 years old, a native of Cleveland, Ohio. 7-5 the Cowboys are since he replaced Wade Phillips last year. And of course, on the other side, Bill Belichick, a native of Annapolis, Maryland, in his 12th season with New England, 8 division titles, 4 conference championships, and 3 Super Bowls. Patriots won the toss, chose to defer into the second half, and DeMarco Murray will take a knee in the end zone. Dallas comes out offensively, led by Tony Romo. Romo, of course, coming off that disastrous second half, and in particularly the fourth quarter in the loss to Detroit 2 weeks ago.
Made for a tough week to have a bye week if you're Tony Romo, although, as we said coming into this game, it did afford a number of players to get healthy, and that did include Tony Romo with the fractured rib and the punctured lung he suffered several weeks back.
Felix Jones, another guy who's gotten a bit healthier thanks to the bye week. He's playing through the pain of a separated shoulder.
Number 89, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That was the lead blocker in the I formation, the third tight end, John Phillips.
John Phillips, who lined up at the fullback position, he's just trying to secure that edge of the line of scrimmage and give Felix Jones an area to run, and he was the one who was charged with the hold.
The 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 20 from the 10-yard line. Play fake it. Romo under pressure, lays it off to Miles Austin. Austin back for the first time in nearly a month since being injured in San Francisco, and his defense has been lit up and lit up regularly as they've gone more to the 4-3 scheme.
They've given up a lot of yards through the first 5 weeks of the season, and coming off of their best defensive performance last week against the New York Jets, held them to under 300 yards of total offense. This Dallas Cowboys offense has far more weapons than what they faced a week ago.
Across the middle, and the catch is made for a first down by Des Bryant up to the 34-yard line, tackled by Devin McCourty. And Bryant, another guy, injured his thigh in week 1, and he's at full strength again as well.
He is at full strength, and that's not going to bode well for the New England Patriots. You see, Des Bryant, you get challenged because you don't want to come up and crowd a guy like him too much. He likes the physical game. He's a big physical wide receiver, and when you get up and get a body on him, that's what he typically excels at. Soft coverage there by New England.
No. You go.
Little delay and pretty good running room there for Felix Jones. He's up to the 40-yard line, a gain of, we'll call it 4 yards. You look at the first 3 games of the year defensively for New England. They allowed 470 yards of offense per game, 377 in the air. They've been a little better, as you mentioned, Troy, first against Oakland and then last week against the Jets. Bouncing off one tackler, Jones still on his feet and plows forward up to the 43-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3 for the Cowboys.
Well, I think if you're Bill Belichick and you're watching this first possession and you see that on the opening play of the game, the Cowboys have a holding penalty that set them back then at 1st and 20, and yet they're able to overcome that. Boy, that doesn't put your mind at ease.
Where the Cowboys normally try and find Jason Witten. Intercepted. First mistake of the game comes on the opening possession. Arrington, his 4th interception of the year.
I'm not real sure exactly where Romo was going with that throw. If he's trying to throw it to the inside to Miles Austin, who he thought was going to hook up right there, or if he was trying to come outside to Des Bryant, who was going to run the underneath route, but yet he led him too much. It didn't look to me like Miles Austin necessarily ran the wrong route, but to me, Tom, I thought he was coming underneath to Des Bryant on the crossing route and just led him too much inside, and maybe expect Des Bryant to be running a little faster than he was.
So now this high-octane New England offense, and they find Rob Gronkowski on a 1st down reception. By the way, they re-signed his brother, and he was on the field for that 1st down play, Dan Gronkowski.
You think to that turnover there by this defense, well documented, they've given up a lot of yards. Where they have benefited, one is they've got the league's #1 offense and Tom Brady and the things that they're able to do in terms of scoring points, but they have been very, very good defensively in creating takeaways. Big turnover to start this game.
Stephen Ridley, the rookie out of LSU, and he has a 1st down to the 30-yard line. Ridley carried just 10 times 2 weeks ago against Oakland, but he chalked up 97 rushing yards.
Well, you're going to see Gronkowski here. He kicks out, and then Stephen Ridley is able to run off of his block. Just a good job up front. Sean Lee trying to get in there, and actually Keith Brooking was a linebacker who was expected to fill the hole, but they were able to block him as well.
This is the #1 rushing defense in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. But of course, the talk of the league in his 12th season out of Michigan is Tom Brady. Many wonder, has he ever been better? They do have Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. He was a question mark with that toe injury before the game. Sebastian Vollmer still being bothered by a sore back. He has missed now 3 straight starts, so they go with the #1 pick, Nate Solder, at right tackle. Aaron Hernandez to the 25.
Well, I think you got to understand that, when you come in and you play the New England Patriots, you know what they're capable of doing offensively. And so as an opposing offense, you have to take advantage of the opportunities that you have. You never want to turn the ball over. It's especially critical against the New England Patriots, and you're giving Tom Brady a short field. And Jason Garrett talked about that coming into this ball game.
When you need a first down, who does Tom Brady look for? But the unbelievable Wes Welker is 46 catch so far this year. He leads the NFL in receptions and receiving yards.
They do so many different things with him, and his story is quite impressive. I mean, to come into this league, and he thought he was primarily going to be a return man in the special teams game. Then he was a slot receiver, mostly used in the third wide receiver sets or third down situations. But he's a complete football player, and he's shown it this season.
Pitch it to Ridley. And he's inside the 10-yard line. New England has been devastating pretty much every game, the entire game, but especially so on their opening possession. In 5 games, they have scored a touchdown 4 of the 5 opening possessions of the game.
Yeah, and the one time that they didn't score on the opening possession, that was last week against the Jets. They just came back and scored on the second possession.
Cowboys spent a timeout. You talked about this Dallas defense. New England comes into this game. 13 consecutive regular season games they have scored 30 points or more. The last game they didn't was against Cleveland. Why is that a big deal? Their defensive coordinator in Cleveland last year is now the defensive coordinator in Dallas, Rob Ryan.
And he feels that he's got a lot better players than what he had last year in Cleveland. And you know, some of the things that he feels that he's going to have to be able to do in this game is, one, make Brady uncomfortable. You'd like to say confuse him. I don't know that you're going to confuse him, but you have to have him hold it and look at the defense longer than normal. By doing that, you're going to disguise some looks. And he said, I respect Tom Brady as much as any quarterback in the league. He was on this staff the early part of this decade, but he wants to knock him around in this ball game.
Brady looking around. Incomplete. Had an eye on Aaron Hernandez right around the goal line.
You know, when you start trying to bring different looks to pressure Brady, then sometimes you get matchups you don't necessarily want. The Cowboys, because of what they did on the opposite side, they've got Anthony Spencer there in coverage on Gronkowski. That's what Wes Welker not only is going to see throughout this game, he sees it each and every week now. 2 guys covering him, making sure he's not the primary target for Brady.
42.
Brady is sacked back at the 13-yard line by DeMarcus Ware. Ware shut out in the sack department for the first time in 6 games last week. He gets one to stall this opening drive on 3rd down.
You're going to see Gronkowski, 87. He has 5 touchdowns, most of those down here in the red zone. So what do the Cowboys do? They come up and jam him at the line of scrimmage, disrupt the timing. That's where Brady's going to go with the football. And then he's got pressure off the edge by Anthony Spencer. And the Cowboys can present some problems in the middle because of Ratliff, and Ware was able to get to him.
31-yard field goal try, and right down the middle for Stephen Gostkowski to give New England the first quarter 3-0 lead. Of course, for Tony Romo, it's been a roller coaster career, and it's really been a roller coaster season. Week 1, the fumble and the interception and a loss to the New York Jets. Played well, played hurt in a win over the San Francisco 49ers. A win in overtime, but then last week, 24-3, actually 2 Sundays ago, and let that lead get away, and Detroit came away with a 4-point win.
Yeah, you talk about the roller coaster year that he's had just through 4 games. I mean, it really has been a roller coaster year for him. This is his 5th full year as a starter. That's kind of the way that it's been. I mean, he's had a lot of great moments with the Cowboys, and he's had a lot of moments that he'd like to forget. I was impressed, Tom, in visiting with him yesterday, just how upbeat and positive. He's that way anyway. I mean, he's a pretty optimistic guy. But you could tell he was really confident coming into this game about some of the things that they were going to be able to do. Now, in light of those 3 interceptions in the second half against Detroit, to start this game with another interception, he's going to be a little hesitant pulling the trigger from here moving on.
DeMarco Murray from the 3-yard line and brings it out to the 23. Let's check in back in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee.
Lions and Niners has been as good as expected. Less than 2 minutes left. Alex Smith, Delaney Walker, touchdown San Francisco. They take the lead 22-19. Fifth lead change of the game. And there's still 1:51 left. Lions with the ball. Tom, Troy, and Pam.
Kurt, thank you. What a job Jim Harbaugh has done. Of course, he's going back to where he grew up, just outside of Detroit in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
You know, some guys are just born to coach. I think he's one of those guys.
Blown dead before it ever got started. That's the way the first Cowboys drive began.
Before the snap, New England, timeout. First team, timeout.
It's been an amazing run for that man, Bill Belichick, here in New England. His first year in the 2000 season, they went 5-11. The following year, the first of 3 Super Bowl titles in a 4-year span. He's had a string of 10 consecutive winning seasons. The first coach to do that since Tom Landry led the Cowboys, with one team that is, to 16 winning seasons in a row.
Well, it won't be much longer, and every time you reference something a coach does, it's going to be with his name on the top of that list. He's had a heck of a run here in New England, and there's no reason to think it's going to slow down. Last year they had a heck of a draft class. They're restocking the shelves. Last year was supposed to be a transitional year. You know, with some of the veteran players that they lost, they were changing over from a 3 wide receiver set offensively to a 2 tight end set with 2 young rookies. And what do? They go out and they go 14-2. Season ended in a disappointment with that home loss after having secured home field advantage. But they've done a nice job, here in New England. I got to talk about that Cowboys defense, though, giving New England a short field against an offense that is 5th best in football. Converting those into touchdowns in the red zone to hold them to a field goal was a nice job.
Romo looking around, fouls Austin. And Miles up to the 31-yard line. You talked about Tony Romo. Would he be a little gun shy? Last 8 Dallas possessions, 4 of those have ended in Romo interceptions. Seven-yard pickup on first down, 2nd and 3. Felix Jones dropped in the backfield by Kyle Love in his 2nd year out of Mississippi State.
Kyle Love is that extra defensive lineman that they bring in when they transition out of their 3-4 scheme into their 4-down line defensive front. And he just beat the block in front of him and was able to make a nice play there in the backfield.
3rd down and 4. Bryant for a first down, and Dez up to the 37-yard line.
What we're going to see from New England defensively is they're going to bang on Jason Witten right there. Rob Ninkovich, he's the guy who was over the top of him, but Tony Romo's working the opposite side, and he talked about the challenges of throwing on 3rd and medium to 3rd and short against this New England defense, because they typically will set right at the first down stakes.
Jones for a pickup of 2. We told you Jones, or rather that time DeMarco Murray, I beg your pardon. Murray checking in, the former Oklahoma standout, spelling Jones for a play.
The Cowboys, the first 2 weeks of the season, they did not run the ball very well. Now, a big part of that was who they were facing, the New York Jets and the 49ers. The last couple of weeks, they've been better running the football. They've averaged well over 100 yards rushing the last 2 games.
Kill! Both sides!
Flag comes in late as Murray picks up maybe a yard.
Holding, number 68, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Doug Free, and that's the 4th time he's been whistled for a holding penalty this year. That's most in the league.
You know, Doug Free stepped in last year and really did a nice job. In a lot of ways, he was probably their best offensive lineman. He's at left tackle. But he's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start here in 2011.
Blitz coming. Drop it off to Jones out of the backfield, and he tiptoes his way along the sideline. They'll spot it at the 41-yard line. That's a good pickup for Felix Jones. Jones becomes a Cowboys primary running back this year after they released Marion Barber.
I think the big key with Felix Jones is really just staying healthy. He's been hampered with injuries throughout his early career. In fact, right now he's still playing with a separated shoulder that requires him to wear a shoulder harness. So on those throws, anything above his shoulder pad level is going to be difficult for him to haul in.
Romo sacked back at the 35-yard line by Andre Carter.
You know, Tony had pretty good time in the pocket, actually, but it was good coverage. You see Lee Bodden, they're trying to run a square in and go, hoping that maybe they could get the Patriots to bite, but there just really wasn't anywhere for Tony to throw the football, and he just had to tuck it and go to the ground.
So now Matt McBriar on the punt for the first time today. Wes Welker stands back at his own 17. Good punt, sending Welker back to the 10. And a 10-yard return up to the 20. The flag comes in late. Walt Coleman, our referee today.
Return, illegal block in the back. Number 52 of the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Of course, this time of the year in the fall, you think about the postseason in baseball. We have our eye already on Wednesday night. Troy Aikman in your adopted hometown in Dallas is celebrating the Rangers playing in their second straight World Series.
Yes, they are. It's been a good 2 years for the Rangers.
It's intercepted by Terrence Newman. The ball was tipped, and then Newman lays out to get it. So a rare turnover for Brady and the Patriots, and now Dallas in business.
Yeah, that's what you've got to hope for when you're playing against the Patriots. Is there to make the play. If that ball's not tipped, pretty easy completion then to Deion Branch.
Kenyon Coleman, it looked like, got his hand on the football.
Well, they talk to these defensive linemen, if you're not going to get home, make sure you get your hands up, and that's what Kenyon Coleman was able to do at 6'5".
Jones on a first down carry, trying to break it to the outside, still on his feet. Ran through a tackle of Patrick Chung, among others.
We've seen the Cowboys now running the football, trying to get it to the outside. Felix Jones has bounced, the runs that he has had here in this first quarter. And looking at New England defensively, the teams that have had success against them running the football, and quite a few teams has really been right between the tackles. Right at the teeth of those defensive linemen is where the teams have had success on the ground.
Austin had it, lost it, and they're saying incomplete pass.
Well, he's got to make a football move. To me, it looked like he made that move. The catch is there, he turns, and it's a bang bang, and that's what the official's going to look at if this in fact is reviewed. They look at it in real time, and you're right, Tom, as he's coming in and trying to gain possession of the ball, it didn't look like he ever really had possession of it as he made that move.
Bill Belichick in the game against the Jets last week challenged twice calls on the field and won both challenges. They were big plays in the game. Three-man rush. Romo to the end zone, batted in the air, and a flag comes in. Devin McCourty down there with LaRon Robinson.
Well, LaRon Robinson was just able to get into the back of the end zone, and Devin McCourty never got turned around to try to play the ball. You see LaRon Robinson, he's going to work to the back line. He's expecting a fade route. Tony.
On both teams. Holding, number 63 on the offense. Pass interference, 32 defense. Both penalties all set. Third down.
They got Kozar, the right guard, for holding. They're on number 98, Gerard Warren. So again, third down and 9.
Full start, number 68, offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
A lot of confusion up front right now for this Cowboy offensive line and Tony Romo. They're trying to sort it out right now. He's trying to identify who the Mike linebacker is right here. He points out number 55, Brandon Spikes. All of the protection then works off of whoever is identified as the Mike linebacker, but they're having to do that at the line of scrimmage, creating a little confusion right now for this offensive front, and then you got the false start.
What a play by Warren as they tried the draw, giving the ball to Tashard Choice. So now the field goal unit will come out. Each defense, Dallas and now New England, standing up well after a turnover.
Yeah, we come in talking about all this offense that we're going to see, and both of the offense struggling a little bit, and they get a short field, and neither one was able to cash in with touchdowns, and the defenses have made good stands.
48-yard try. That's a season long for rookie Dan Bailey, who's hit 11 straight field goal tries. And this one is hammered right down the gut, make it 12 in a row for Bailey. I would like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's telecast in 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. We can't thank you all enough for all that you do and keeping the greatest country in the world standing tall and proud, and God bless you all. Hope you're enjoying the game. Tom Brady and the Patriots set to get the football for the third time in a game. 3:16 to play in the opening quarter in a 3-3 affair. Matthew Slater 18, Stephen Ridley 22. Wait back. This will be Slater. And the ball's on the ground, and Dallas has it. Gerald Sensabaugh finds the football in the second turnover for New England.
Well, he had a nice crease too. It was set up for a nice return. The Patriots were going to have awfully good field position there, and the ball wasn't really hit all that hard. It was, stripped, but certainly not with the force that you would expect the ball to come out the way that it did.
So Slater on the kickoff return fumbles the football. Romo and the offense right back at it. Felix Jones bounces off one tackler, but maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. For those of you just joining us, welcome to New England. Opening drive of the game for Dallas. Tony Romo intercepted, but the defense able to make a play on third down, which led to a field goal. Tom Brady threw an interception on the next New England possession, which led to a field goal, and now this on the ensuing kickoff. Austin trying to get to the first down marker. We'll see where they spot it.
Well, I've been impressed what I've seen up to this point with New England defensively in run defense, the way that they have swarmed to the football. We've seen a number of bodies, not on initial contact that they've been able to get Felix Jones to the ground, but boy, they sure have swarmed to the football and not allowed him to really get going.
It's where the Cowboys have struggled the early part of this year. They could count on Marion Barber in third and short a year ago. Felix Jones appears to have enough for a first down.
I know Bill Belichick, when you talk about, what statistics represent teams that are winning football games, and turnovers obviously are a big part of that. They're at the top of that list. And then secondly would be the teams that score touchdowns in the red zone and the defenses that are able to stop people from scoring touchdowns and not having to, settle for the field goals on offense. But yet New England for the last 3-4 years has not been a good red zone defense, but they have on the one possession here today, and now they're being asked to do it again on this possession.
Incomplete on first down. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee back in Los Angeles.
San Francisco hands the Lions their first loss, but during the celebration, Coach Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz get into it. Harbaugh celebrating. Apparently, Schwartz didn't like it, goes back to him. The two had to be separated as the teams kind of got into battle as they went into the locker room. Nonetheless, San Francisco wins 25-19, both teams 5-1. Strange. Tom and Troy?
Rashard Choice is tripped up.
I'm not sure exactly.
Was that a fumble after he went down? It is. And each team already with a pair of turnovers here in the opening quarter. So Choice stripped by Vince Wilfork. Big turnover deep in New England territory.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airfares online only at southwest.com.
Pair of turnovers now for the Cowboys, a pair of turnovers for New England. Vince Wilfork stripping that football away from Rashard Choice. Big carry for Ben Jarvis. Green Ellis coming off a career-best 136-yard rushing performance against the Jets.
Yeah, that was his first carry of the game, and we were kind of wondering just how much work he was going to get. He injured his toe this week during practice. There was some talk that he may not even be able to play in this game, but you're right. A big game last week against the Jets. His longest run on the year is just 16 yards. He's not going to take it the distance, but he is a tough man to get on the ground.
Brady sack for the second time. Marcus Spears drops it back to the 20-yard line.
Marcus Spears getting his opportunity to get a little more playing time today because of Jason Hatcher's injury, and he just went right through Logan Mankins. Mankins, their best offensive lineman. He's able to get around him, and Brady, who was looking to get the ball to the outside, just ran out of time. It was a little deeper route, and he wasn't afforded the time to hold it.
That's the end of the opening quarter. 3-3 game. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Well, these two offenses combining to average nearly 1,000 yards per game. Very quiet, not even 100 yards of total offense in the opening quarter.
25 to White. White 20. Okay. Tito. White we get.
3rd and 9. A catch made by Deion Branch. He's across midfield. Inside the 35-yard line.
You know, sometimes you try to get a little bit cute. You're going to see right here, Sensabaugh is going to try to get underneath this receiver here because you see how soft the corner is, and he's just not able to do it. Tom Brady recognizes it right away. He gets it out. Pretty easy pickup, but sometimes defensively you want to put in some new things and you kind of outsmart yourself.
A 45-yard reception by Branch. First down carried by Green Ellis for half a yard.
Let's go back and take a look at it. You're going to see Deion Branch. He's got a short split, and he's going to run the out route. But for Sensabaugh to try to get underneath that route from where he was lined up, he's trying to give the impression he was blitzing. Very difficult.
They find Branch again. A pair of penalty flags on the field. If the play stands, it's a first down inside the 20.
Holding, number 32, defense. That penalty declined. Play results in a first down.
That's on Orlando Scandrick. He's in man coverage on Wes Welker. Pretty easy call there. Orlando Scandrick making his first start, you know, since week 1 against the New York Jets, and have to try to man up against Wes Welker. That's a big assignment.
Well, first down for Brady, and he'll run it. And slides at the 14-yard line.
Here's what the Cowboys are trying to do, though. They're trying to bang on Wes Welker as much as they can coming off the line of scrimmage.
Well, they quickly get to the line of scrimmage and give it to Green Ellis.
You see the New England Patriots, they're going to their no-huddle, speeding things up a little bit and trying to keep Dallas from having enough time to run the defense that Rob Ryan wants them to run. You know, Bill Belichick's certainly well aware that the Cowboys have put in a lot of things. Rob Ryan has.
On the field, on the defense, 5-yard penalty, result in a first down.
That's one of the results of getting them up there.
And so you don't give the defense time to communicate the calls. And you put your offensive line and you get the receivers at the line of scrimmage, and you let Tom Brady make the calls right there and run more of a fast break offense.
First and goal, New England at the 8-yard line. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage is Green Ellis by Spears.
Based on the way this game has gone, if the Cowboys are able to hold New England here to a field goal, they have got to feel like they're playing about as good as they can play.
Flags come in again as Green Ellis dives inside the 5. But this one's against New England.
Number 77, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's a big man. Number 1 pick out of Colorado, 6'8", 319 pounds.
He's your right tackle. He's getting the start again this week because of Sebastian Ballmer and Marcus Spears. We've been talking about him a lot here in this first half. He's been a disruptive force, and he was the one who they had to hold.
Tried to throw it to the back shoulder of Deion Branch. He was unable to corral it. 3rd and goal.
Visiting with Tom Brady, and he talked about it. There was a chance there. Deion Branch normally makes that play. Here's a guy who was with Tom Brady before, went off to Seattle, and it was okay there, but he just feels a lot more comfortable within this scheme with the New England Patriots.
Green-Ellis to the 8-yard line, but here comes the field goal unit, exactly what you talked about a moment ago.
Oh, that's a good job by the Cowboys again defensively to be able to hold this New England offense to 2 field goals when they've gotten down in here. Rob Ryan's got to be awfully happy with the way they're playing.
New England this year 14 times had goal-to-go drives. 11 of the 14 they scored touchdowns. That's most in the NFL. But they'll have to try and settle for a 2nd field goal from Gostkowski. This one from 26 yards. And it's good to put New England back up 6-3.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. And by Nissan. Innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all.
Play 72 yards, highlighted by the Deion Branch 45-yard reception. But once the Patriots had it 1st and goal at the 7-yard line, they come away with just the field goal. Flags down back where they kicked it off.
Based on the reaction of special teams coach Jody Camillus for the Cowboys, it looks like it's going to be on them.
Walt Coleman making a long walk. And everybody wondering about this call.
Well, we've had a lot of penalties here in the early going of this game. Bill Belichick always looks like he doesn't quite agree with the call, doesn't he?
No.
Offside on the receiving team. That penalty's declined. Result of the play is a touchback. 1st down.
So after all that, now you know. And he still doesn't look happy. And that went his way. .6-3 game, 12:07 to play until halftime, and Dallas with the football starting from its own 20. Miles Austin a pickup of 9 on 1st down.
Boy, Miles Austin, we talked about the fact that he has not played the last 2 games, but what a great start to the year he had, and in his first 2 games of the season, 14 receptions in those 2 ball games, and he's their big play threat. Certainly Des Bryant, but Miles Austin, he has the speed to get down the field.
Second effort by Jones, good enough for a first down. Not only the 14 catches in the first 2 games for Miles Austin, he had 4 touchdowns, including 3 in one game against the 49ers. That's when he re-aggravated the hamstring injury that he suffered during the preseason.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the weapons that they have, and even with guys banged up, Des Bryant with the quad injury, Miles Austin missing, they've still been good offensively in terms of moving the football. This is the first time since about the 10th play of the game in the season opener that all of their guys are healthy offensively.
Down by Ninkovich. Let's check in back in Los Angeles with Kurt Menefee.
Well, another wild play in Tampa. Saints coach Sean Payton, standing on the sideline, gets hit in his left knee by Jimmy Graham. They have to attend to him, put a brace on his knee. He's now coaching from the bench, and they say he will play Joe Paterno, coach from the booth in the second half. 10-7 right now. Tampa with a lead, but a wild day for coaches so far, guys.
Boy, how many times do you see that? You know? Bodies flying around on the sideline. You got to be careful.
Romo looking around into traffic. That's a dangerous throw right there by Romo. It's knocked down. Third down upcoming.
Pretty interesting, though, with the way that the New England Patriots are playing defensively. I mean, think back. They're last in the league in pass defense for a reason. They're last in the league in giving up big plays in the passing game for a reason. But they haven't given Tony Romo a lot of places to get the ball down the field. He's been having to throw the ball underneath for the most part here in this game.
Just got it off. Better protection that time, but it's incomplete. Threw it into double coverage on Des Bryant.
You say, what is New England doing defensively that's creating some of the problems for Dallas offensively? And they're running underneath the outside routes. You're going to see that Tony Romo, he's trying to go to the outside, and then you've got Lee Bodden, number 23, who's working underneath. He's got safety help over the top, working underneath there, Des Bryant, and just nowhere really to throw the ball.
McLeod's 55 yards, his first punt. Walker from the 25 and is wrestled down at the 31. 10:37 to play until halftime. 6-3 New England.
Today's game is sponsored by Uline Cinema's A Very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas in theaters November 4th.
With so many streaks ongoing for this Patriot team, Tom Brady's won 30 straight regular season home starts. Overall, the Patriots have won 19 in a row here at home. And they've also scored 30 or more points in 13 consecutive games. Set up a screen on first down to the tight end, Gronkowski. And a big gainer up to midfield.
Well, Rob Gronkowski, sometimes they like to bring him in and help with pass protection on that play. They brought him in. They had him look like he was going to give help on DeMarcus Ware. They set up the screen perfectly and executed very well for a nice game.
Easy. Diamond. Springer, Springer, Gold Springer. Help him go.
First time we've called the name Danny Woodhead. He was inactive last week against the Jets.
Here's that last play. Gronkowski, he motioned down, looked like he was going to give help on DeMarcus Ware, and then it's timed up beautifully with Tom Brady, which is why they were able to have so much success on that play. The Patriots playing very fast offensively with this no huddle.
Brady rolling, looking down the field. Contact made, no call.
Well, that was close, too. Sensabaugh came in on Deion Branch.
Personal foul, roughing the passer.
Looked to me like there was contact made before the ball got there.
15-yard penalty.
But there was a
First down.
penalty on the back end on Tom Brady. You know, you have 1.5 steps as a defender to hit a quarterback. You have to hit him before your second foot hits the ground, and clearly Anthony Spencer was late on that contact.
They'll spot the ball down at the 33-yard line and an automatic first down.
Well, we saw again the play. I think they got away with the one there on Sensabaugh, but hey, Rob Ryan talked about it. He said we're going to get physical with those receivers. They're not worried about a penalty.
Looking for Welker. He looked one way, tried to come back the other way, and step for step with him was Frank Walker.
See Frank Walker, he's locked up, and yeah, I mean Brady kind of put that ball where he had to put it, but that's a hard catch to make when you turn back around and try to relocate the ball in flight.
Easy, easy. 50. 50 what? Gravy, 50 gravy. From 20. Round 20. Here we go. From 20. Round. Quick dash.
False start, 83. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, they got the Patriots on that, but you're going to see Skandrick. He's trying to time it up so that he can hit it on the run. But Tom Brady is so good at mixing up the snap count that Skandrick's not able to get a beat on when the ball was going to be snapped. But of course, they got the Patriots there for a false start.
Alpha, go.
Second down at 15. Brady gets a lot of it back, and all of it back. Hernandez spins his way to a first down to the 22. Broke the tackle of Sean Lee.
I think that's the real key against New England is, hey, you're going to give up some receptions, but you can't give them yards after the catch. Aaron Hernandez, that second-year player we talked about, excellent player.
Hernandez again to the 13.
You know, Aaron Hernandez, he came back last week after having missed 2 games. He wore a big, bulky knee brace in that game. It looks like he's wearing it again here today. But he is an explosive receiver, not at 100%, but he's still a challenge.
Goal 11, goal 11. Alpha, go.
Brady a lead for a first down. He's all the way to the 5-yard line. They'll spot it inside the 5. After 3, and they're still in hurry-up mode.
Over. Easy, I'm back. 72.
They showed him down in a tight formation. Now he splits Aaron Hernandez out wide.
Alpha, go.
Walker just short of the end zone.
You can see Wes Welker. He does a nice job. He's in that slot position. You worry as a defender not giving him anything then to the middle. But Welker, he's able to get outside leverage then on Skandrick, and then it's just a foot race to try to get to the pylon and the touchdown. That looked to me like he got the ball inside. That ball's inside and then hits the pylon. I think that's a touchdown.
We talked about the 2 challenges last week by Bill Belichick. He won both of them, and here comes the red flag. They take a look at it. You take a look at it. We'll be back.
New England is challenging the ruling on the field. The runner was short of the goal line.
Still waiting. The final verdict. Walt Coleman taking a look. Question is, did Welker extend, breaking the plane for a touchdown? The call on the field spotted the ball at the 1.
After reviewing the play, the runner got the ball across the goal line inside the pylon. It is a touchdown. New England will not be charged with a timeout.
Welker, his 6th touchdown reception of the season.
And guy's just so good. He's got such a great feel. You know, everybody's talked about how small he is and short. He's been hearing that his entire life. He went to college to the only Division I school that offered him a scholarship, Texas Tech. And as I talked about a little bit earlier, you know, I mean, he can do it all. He's got unbelievable quickness. He's great in small spaces. He's got excellent speed. And more importantly, he works his tail off. You know, they talk about how he practices and the study habits that he has in the classroom. It's not a surprise this guy's had the impact that he's had on this Patriot team.
Chris Walker, 21 months removed from that devastating knee injury in a series and season finale in Houston in 09. Had a good year last year. Perhaps a record-setting 2011 for Walker and the Patriots. They lead by 10.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Well, the beat goes on for Tom Brady. His 276th career touchdown pass came into this game in an 8th place tie with Vinny Testaverde. Brady now there alone in 22 games in a row with a touchdown.
I can't believe this is his 12th season in the league.
Dwayne Harris brings it out of the end zone. Flags litter the field. He brings it up to the 19.
Illegal block in the back, number 42 of the return team. At the distance to the goal. First down.
Well, for an offense in Dallas that came into this game averaging well over 400 yards a game, they've been held to under 100 yards here in this first half. This defense has really done a nice job, and now what they've done is they've gotten the lead, which is really how they play it. They depend on their offense to build a lead, and now teams will start throwing the ball a little bit more. They give up a lot of passing yards, but like we've seen today also, they really are opportunistic, and they take advantage of the turnovers that they create.
Felix Jones out of the backfield up to the 13-yard line. They'll bring up 2nd down and 5 for the Cowboys.
You just kind of get the feeling that this is a really critical drive right here for Dallas offensively. A 13-3 game, and you know they're kind of spinning their wheels a little bit, and New England was as well early on there. But that last drive by Tom Brady and company, you can tell they're starting to gain a little bit of confidence in some of the things that they're going to be able to do. The last thing you'd want to do is give the ball right back to that Patriot offense.
DeMarco Murray, a first down carry up to the 21-yard line. Saw Felix Jones go off to the sideline after making that first down catch. He came in with an injured shoulder, but now they're looking at his left ankle, it appears.
You know, a guy with just unbelievable skills and great speed, and he's got amazing big play ability. You see the ankle that kind of got caught underneath him, but that's been the problem. They just have not been able to keep him healthy most of these seasons.
What a move by Dez Bryant. And that springs him down the sideline for an extra 25 yards. Wow.
Well, you got sideline help. You got 2 defenders playing him from the inside out, and yet they take the move to the inside, and he's still able to get up the sideline. So Dez Bryant, he is a beast. He's very difficult to get on the ground, but when you've got sideline help and you're playing inside out with 2 defenders, that should not happen.
It's a 33-yard gain on the pass and catch from Romo to Bryant. Murray. Good strong run inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Murray had a great career at Oklahoma. And he did everything. All-time touchdown leader for the Sooners. All-time kickoff return average. All-time all-purpose yard leader. This guy can do a lot of things.
Well, he's doing a lot of good things here in this one, and they may have to rely on him throughout the rest of this half and then into the second half based on what we saw of Felix Jones. And then with Tashard Choice putting the ball on the ground, I'm not real sure they're going to want to come back to him anytime soon.
Pitch it to Murray this time. Got a good block. And that's a first down run to the 34. Murray, another guy who didn't get a lot of playing time in the preseason. He injured his hamstring in training camp. And they really didn't know what they had as far as what they would get in the pro game once they got him on the field.
Well, I think right now Jason Garrett wants to try to be as balanced as he can. Clearly wanting to come away with 7 points on this drive, but they would love for this to be the last possession before this half and not give the ball back to the Patriots.
Choice runs right through Arrington, is able to drag him down along the way, and it's inside the 30 to the 28.
Tell you, Tashard Choice, I think he's got a little anger built up because he did put the ball on the ground. Look at the way that he finishes this run right there. There's not too many defensive backs that'll want to jump in there and take on that collision.
Wow. Well, they spotted in the 29. 2nd and 5. They continue to work on Felix Jones. Bryant shakes one tackle, another. Finally dragged down to the 13-yard line. First down, Dallas.
I mean, this guy just does not like going to the ground. I've never quite seen anything like it. I mean, he's a big physical receiver. Good timing here on the throw by Tony Romo. But he just pushes people off of him, and you know that really is the challenge for him. He's so competitive at the point of the catch, but he is a hard man to get on the ground. You know, and he takes a lot of unnecessary hits, really, because of it.
Checking down there, and he hands it off to Murray, who's down to the 9. Let's go downstairs to Pam Oliver.
Tom, Felix Jones got off the ground, walked over to the bench on his own, just added some more padding, taped it up on that left ankle, and he is deemed to be fine.
Pam, thank you.
You know, being fine in the NFL is far different from being fine, you know, as a civilian. I will tell you that. He's got a separated shoulder. He's got all this tape on his ankle, but he's fine.
2-minute warning. Cowboys knocking on the door. I heard from Pam a moment ago reporting on Felix Jones. He continues to talk to the medical staff after having that left ankle taped up, put the shoe back on. Meanwhile, 2nd and we'll call it 6 for Dallas at the New England 9.
Well, this has been a nice drive for Dallas. You know, New England's able to go down the field and get their touchdown, and for the Cowboys to be down in here where they are right off of that, this is an impressive job by them offensively.
That's the 3rd string tight end, John Phillips. He has one more catch in Jason Witten. It's 1st and goal for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they haven't gotten the ball yet to Jason Witten, and you know the Patriots really haven't done all that much to keep him from getting the ball. But I do know that he's highly respected by Bill Belichick. You know, you think back to that San Diego game, Belichick was committed to not letting Antonio Gates beat them. Antonio Gates didn't have a catch in that ball game. Vincent Jackson wound up being a big play guy for him. So far, they've not allowed Witten to get too involved in this game plan.
Murray trying to get in right at the goal line, and no touchdown signal given. 2nd and goal.
You know, DeMarco Murray is a little bit bigger back than Tashard Choice. Tashard Choice now in the lineup. You just wonder if that's the reason you give the ball to DeMarco Murray down there, or if you're concerned about the potential of Tashard Choice putting the ball on the ground as he already has.
Cowboys only have one rushing touchdown this entire year. And they're going to throw it. And it's Witten. And it's a touchdown for the Cowboys on his first catch of the afternoon.
That looked a little bit closer than what it probably needed to be. He's got the ball in his left arm, and that breaks the goal line. So that's a touchdown, but he could have extended that and made it a little bit easier. He worked all the way across the formation. He started to the right side, play action with Tony Romo on Tashard Choice, and they're able to sneak Witten in behind that offensive line for the touchdown.
Crowd yelling for Bill Belichick to challenge the call. It looked like a correct call. Of course, a scoring play, he can't challenge it. They automatically review every scoring decision. Cowboys with 33 seconds remaining until halftime, punch it in to make it a 3-point game. Take a look at that drive. 11 plays, 93 yards, better than 7 minutes. It's back-to-back games now. Receiving touchdowns for Jason Witten.
That's a great drive by Dallas to take 7 minutes off the clock, score the touchdown, and then give the ball back here to New England with 30 seconds or a little bit under that. And New England, no question, with 2 timeouts, they still have time to get into a position where they can at least try to come away with a field goal before the end of this half.
That's the first 10-play drive culminating in a touchdown this year for the Cowboys.
You can see Witten there on the right side, the play action by Tony Romo, and then the key is for Jason Witten just to not get caught up in any of the garbage along that offensive line and get past it fast enough to where Tony Romo can make a good throw. He was able to do that and then get it across the goal line.
Well, Bailey puts a foot on it. No David Beeler again this week for the Cowboys. Stephen Ridley. And he's spun down at the 24. So 26 seconds left, 2 timeouts remaining, and Brady coming out. Well, coming up, the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Jimmy, and Michael will be along with scores and highlights. And I'm sure they'll bring you the entire story of what went on after the game between Jim Harbaugh and Jim Schwartz. Wow.
Get them in a UFC cage fight. You know,
It'd be all right.
Put it on Fox.
Oh, we picked that up. You can mark it down. Tom Brady, a touchdown through an interception early on. Green Ellis, we wondered if he would play today. 4 carries for 17. And Welker, the lone touchdown reception for the Patriots. We're going to hand it off and run out the clock.
Yeah, they're pretty content just running off the clock. You see Tom Brady now going to the hut or going to the locker room, and you run that draw play. If you get a big play, maybe then you're able to get something going, but they're pretty content with a 13-10 lead.
So our score at halftime, New England 13, Dallas 10. We invite you to stay tuned for the Visa halftime report coming after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Well, it took a while to get the offenses cranked up here after each team turned it over a couple of times in the opening quarter. 13-10 is where we stand here at halftime. Back alongside Troy Aikman and Pam Oliver, I'm Tom Brenneman. And, well, we figured there'd be a lot of yards, a lot of points. We're not there yet, but there's an entire second half to go.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't start that way, to begin the game, but I thought there at the end of the second quarter, we started to see what we anticipated right from the start. We saw Tom Brady settle in, the no-huddle offense really being very effective. And what a drive there by Dallas to end that first half, taking 7 minutes off the clock and being able to come away with a touchdown. I expect to see a lot of that now here in this second half.
New England will get the football to begin the second half, and we invite you to follow your favorite team all season long. Just go to iTunes.com/. NFL.
Tom, you mentioned the number of points that the Patriots have scored. The last team to hold them under 30 points was Cleveland last year when Rob Ryan was a defensive coordinator, and a lot of the things they did in that defense was trying to confuse Tom Brady. I think that's why the Patriots are running as much no huddle as they are here in this game.
Stephen Ridley takes a second half kickoff from the 5-yard line. And a good return for Ridley, who is still being shoved around out of the 25-yard line. Helmet comes flying off. Let's check in downstairs with Pam Oliver.
Tom, the Cowboys were very upbeat as they headed into the locker room. Jason Garrett, well, he said all we got to do is just keep plugging away. Felix Jones will give it a go with that left ankle injury. Bill Belichick, well, he was very basic at halftime. He told me we just got to tackle, move the ball, try to score. Back to you.
That's about as basic as it gets.
Yes, it is.
Talked about New England offensively, averaging 495 yards of offense. Took them a while to get going, and you see Jones makes his way out of the Dallas locker room.
Diamond. Like 20. Like right there.
Green Ellis cuts it back to the inside. A good first down run. Flag comes in late. Oh, it was picked up.
When they're going right back to the no huddle, it looks like. Now they're kind of huddling up here, but as I was talking about what Rob Ryan was able to do when he was at Cleveland last year, sometimes they wouldn't break the huddle defensively until right before the snap of the ball to keep Tom Brady from really knowing what it was that they were doing defensively. You go no huddle, you eliminate the ability for a lot of the changes and different looks that a defense wants to give you. They settled in nicely with that no huddle there in the second quarter.
Green Ellis again, he appears to be about a yard and a half short of the first down. You know, you look back to that game, Cleveland holding them, Troy, as you mentioned, to 14 points. New England only had 68 rushing yards in the game. Tom Brady had 5 passes batted down at the line of scrimmage. New England did not have a receiver that had more than 47 receiving yards, and the Patriots, who rarely ever fumbled it twice in that game.
And Rob Ryan, he will be the first to tell you that the New England Patriots were not at full strength in that game. Of course, Wes Welker coming off the knee injury, and Deion Branch had just joined the team.
Alpha, go.
We'll see if it's enough for a first down. It appears to be, and it is, on the keeper by Brady.
Yeah, he went behind that left side there with Logan Mankins again. Didn't get quite the yards that he got when he ran it there in the first half, but it was a good job of picking up the first down.
Hold on, me. 50 to 51. Me. 51. Like 20. Like right there.
Pretty good protection right there. It started to break down near the end of the play, but it's incomplete, second down.
Yeah, a little different look that time offensively. They brought Ben Jarvis Green Ellis from a slot position into the backfield and then went play action with him. But Dallas has done a good job of trying to get underneath some of those routes, and that's what they were able to do on that last play.
See the numbers on Brady. Had the interception in the opening quarter. Came back with a touchdown pass to Welker in the second.
51. Quick. Alert. 50 to Mike. Alpha. Go.
Ware coming, and he finds Brady back at the 31-yard line. Second sack of the game for DeMarcus Ware.
You got DeMarcus Ware one-on-one with Marcus Light. Matt Light starts him to the inside and then comes outside and makes a play. And you give him enough snaps, DeMarcus Ware is going to get there, and he comes up limping.
That is not a good sign at all for the Cowboys. 20th game in Ware's career where he's had 2 or more sacks.
Fair.
Victor Butler in to replace DeMarcus Ware. And Brady able to get it away. Rob Ryan screaming on the sideline. He thought they had Brady in the grasp. That was Jay Ratliff who had him wrapped up.
Well, the fact that they were able to get there with just a three-man rush. Victor Butler, he's 57, he's standing up. But it's just a three-man rush with Jay Ratliff splitting the double team and able to get to Tom Brady. But to start this second half with an offense that had shown quite a bit there on their touchdown drive, that's a good start for this Dallas defense.
Zoltan Mesko, the Romanian-born punter, puts a foot on it, and Harris from the 15. And dropped 3 yards later. Good special teams coverage by Dane Fletcher. Cowboys get it for the first time when we return.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost. By Chase, don't get shortchanged, get your cash back with Chase Freedom. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Patriots do it on the field and off the field. This past Tuesday, they traveled down to Providence, Rhode Island to help build a new playground at the Dexter Training Ground. Part of a season-long effort by the team to celebrate volunteerism and promote healthy lifestyles for children. And of course, so many of those endeavors led by the late Myra Kraft. Patriots dedicating their season in her loving memory, who passed away on July the 20th after a long, courageous battle with cancer. Had a chance to have dinner the other night with Robert Kraft, and clearly the woman he loved for so many, many years. And our thoughts and prayers still with the entire family and many, many friends. Batted in the air, and that was nearly a third interception for the big fellow Wilfork. Oh, baby.
Yeah, well, old Vince Wilfork, he's got 2 interceptions already this year. You know, we know he's a big run stopper. We didn't know he was quite the cover guy that he's become this year, but it bounced up, and he was all set, ready to make another play on a third interception. But you've got Bill Nagy, the left guard, who's able to at least keep it away from him.
That is without a doubt the first time Vince Wilfork and cover guy have been in the same sentence.
He's one of the more athletic big guys you'll ever come across.
Choice. A second down run up to the 25, third down upcoming. Take a look at the big fella. That's good stuff.
I bet at some point in his career, certainly not professionally, but going back to his youth, he was a running back.
No doubt about it. They convert on third down, and they find Witten. And he's up to the 44-yard line. Went nearly the entire half without a catch before the touchdown just before.
Well, you got to pick him up. You know, you're going to see that he gets off, but the middle linebacker right there, Gary Guyton, he just watches Witten run right in front of him and then make the catch. I'm not sure what Gary Guyton was looking at. Ninkovich is trying to bang him off the line of scrimmage, which is what they've been trying to do throughout this game. But I can assure you, Bill Belichick this week has made it very clear on third down he didn't want to see Jason Witten with a reception.
So the Cowboys in hurry-up mode for the first time in a game on this first drive to begin the half. And that's a first down catch by Miles Austin to the New England 45, and they're still not huddling up.
Yeah, we saw both of these offense, more so with the Cowboys there in that first half, a little unsettled. You know, Romo wasn't seeing things all that clearly. That's not unusual. That happens in a lot of games for quarterbacks. But watching him now, he's starting to get a better idea as to what New England is doing. He's starting to find some open guys.
Marco Murray got head on by Andre Carter. Was able to push ahead for maybe a yard and a half.
Twelve players, on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Well, we did not see that flag on the far side of the field in front of the New England bench. For the first time again this entire game, Bill Belichick's defense against a Cowboy offense. It's in no huddle. All day to throw. Austin to the 19.
Well, you give Tony Romo time to throw, and off the play action, they're really able to hold the linebackers, and so there's that middle of the field area where you're worried about Miles Austin and the speed that he has to go deep. There's a lot of grass there in the middle for him to work for a pretty easy completion.
Kyle Arrington down on one knee in front of the New England sideline. So while they tend to him, we'll step away. Dallas on the move. Its first possession of this third quarter. Arrington appears to be all right. He's replaced for the time being by Lee Bodden. And Tony Romo, after a very sluggish start, 7 out of 13 with an interception, has warmed up considerably. First time we've called the name Martellus Bennett. Only his 4th catch of the year. All 4 have come in the last 2 games.
We got a little pressure inside there on center Phil Costa, but you're right, Martellus Bennett, the guy that a lot was expected from, and he was able to find an open spot there for Romo.
440, go!
Murray tries to turn the corner, and depending on the spot, we'll see if he has enough for a first down. He's right at the stick. It looked like Patrick Chung had him behind the line of scrimmage, and somehow, some way, Murray able to break free.
Yeah, some pretty tough running right there by DeMarco Murray. And based on the yellow line, although not official, it would appear that he's got the first down.
Yep. A few inches short. Brought up earlier, if you weren't with us, Felix Jones injured in the second quarter. A left ankle injury. And they've gone with a combination of primarily Murray and a little bit of choice ever since.
This is an interesting call right here, Tom. Because it being third and so short, you're likely going to get man coverage on the outside, particularly against Devin McCourty, who's not a real big corner. He's only 5'10". Some teams with some bigger receivers have had some success against him. You know, if you're Jason Garrett, you try to take a shot on one of those situations man-to-man outside and come back with it if you've got the confidence to pick it up on 4th down. But they've been given some help, especially to Dez Bryant here on this possession.
That's just hat on hat for a first down. First and goal, Dallas, after the first down run by Choice.
Yeah, they didn't want to take any chances with that. With 3rd and short, just hand it to Choice and pick up the first down. Another good drive now by Dallas offensively. And they've done a good job of mixing it up. They've been pretty balanced throughout this game between run and pass.
Faked it to Murray, tried to throw it to Murray. A little bit low, but it looked like a catch that he should have made. 2nd and goal.
Yeah, a ball that, you know, Tony could have put it on him a little bit firmer, but one that DeMarco Murray certainly should have caught. And if he catches this in stride right there, he's able to turn the corner, and he might have been able to score on that play.
both Choice and Murray in the game for the first time. Play clock down to 2. Timeout. Did he get it? He did.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL from your Verizon phone to get NFL Mobile.
.709 to play in the third quarter. New England a 13-10 lead, but it's second and goal for the Cowboys to the Patriots 7. All the way back to the 19 by Andre Carter. His second sack today.
Well, Andre Carter, Tyron Smith, one-on-one. Andre Carter with the speed off the edge. The Patriots go man coverage on the back end. Romo was looking to get the ball out quick. There was just no separation and nowhere for him to throw it. Might have been able to step up and buy himself a little bit more time, but there was just nobody open on the back end for him.
Third and goal from the 18. Choice the screen and spins his way down to the 4. Fourth down. And are they going to send out the field goal unit? You better believe it. You can't have a drive like this. 12-play drive in without getting points to tie the game.
Well, I think that for Dallas, disappointed, obviously. They had first and goal from inside the 10-yard line, and they're having to settle now for a field goal. But defensively for New England, nice work. You give up yardage, but as we've talked about, red zone defense so important. The yards don't mean anything, having to settle now for a field goal.
Bailey, 2 for 2 in the game. Now hit on 13 in a row, that one from 22 yards out. Romo disappointed, but we're tied with 5:50 to go in the third. Tony Romo talking it over with Wade Wilson, another former backup of yours. These guys are all over the place here today. Jason Garrett, the head coach.
Wade Wilson had a long career of his own, about 19 years in the National Football League.
12-play drive, 77 yards, chewing up 6 minutes. Great coverage by Dallas on the kickoff. Big hit made by Philip Tanner on Stephen Ridley. Well, you get coverage of every NFL game with NFL Mobile. Call Star NFL right now. And welcome back to Foxborough, a 13-13 game in the third quarter. Look at that formation. And then they look down the other way at Chad Ochocinco. First time we've called his name today. And great coverage here by Michael Jenkins.
See him break the huddle there at the last minute and kind of disperse. And then, Brady's trying to work this backside to Chad Ochocinco, and a miscommunication there. And this is a pretty complex offense for New England. I think that's one of the reasons why Chad Ochocinco hasn't gotten on the field more than he has here in the early going of this season. Still getting acclimated to what they're doing offensively.
Welker met by Sean Lee up to the 22-yard line, and you get the feeling, granted we have a long way to go here, but this becomes a very important third down for New England offensively.
Well, I think so, because I think that because this team has had so much success and they've had so many big plays, that when you start having some things not work the way you're accustomed to through the first 5 games, you start then to press a little bit and really become more frustrated offensively.
They do convert on third down. They find the tight end Gronkowski, and that'll move the chains to the 31.
I talk about the big plays, Tom. This is an offense that really has been built on the big play, not just this year, but for the last several years. They came into this game leading the NFL in big plays, only 2 in this game.
Dallas. 10-yard run. Good enough for another first down to the 40.
You know, Dallas was kind of milling around a little bit. We see Brady go with the no huddle, get right underneath the center and hand it off, and a nice gain there for Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
And I beg your pardon, they spotted the ball at the 40, so 2nd and a yard.
We go gutter. Go gutter. Alpha, go.
That's the first down carry.
You know, coming into this game, we talked about Dallas defensively and the job that they had done against virtually everybody they have faced in run defense. But this New England team, although they haven't really had the ball all that much in this game, they have run the ball better than anybody has against this Rob Ryan defense.
Help him go.
They're going to run it again. And again, pretty good yardage. They're averaging almost 5 yards per carry in this game.
Well, this guy right here, Green Ellis, I mean, we talked a little bit about him and his career. Came in primarily a special teams guy, bottom of the depth chart last year. And he's just a wrecking ball when he has it between the tackles.
A little too tall for Hernandez. Green Ellis rushed for better than 1,000 yards last year, the first Patriot to do so since Corey Dillon in 04. And you know the other thing, Troy, you talk about trust.
Eagle right.
He has not fumbled in his career.
That's another reason why Bill Belichick likes him. You know, you always do. Like the guy that won't put it on the ground.
And again, a 3rd down catch by Gronkowski, and that's a first down.
And with the incompletion on 2nd down, it gave Rob Ryan an opportunity to substitute his guys. He went with an extra defensive back. Now he's putting his linebackers back out on the field.
Boy, Dallas didn't look ready to play defensively on that snap.
No, you can see Rob Ryan on the sideline. They're trying to substitute some guys, and they're having a hard time getting that done. They were able to get the right players on the field for 3rd down, yet New England's still able to convert. They then run their run defenders out there with the extra linebackers, but New England still got the ball off and they weren't ready.
Well, they had the right guys on the field on that 2nd down carry. And that's where.
Well, there's no doubt that New England is playing about as fast of a no huddle. You know, this isn't a hurry up. As fast of a no huddle tempo as I've ever seen.
Another 3rd down. And this time denied first down yardage on a nice tackle made by Orlando Scandrick.
And you see Tom Brady, he's pointing and he's saying, hey, let's go for it. But Bill Belichick isn't going to. You know, from where they're at on the field, I think that you would maybe start to think about it a little bit. But because of the success that we've seen from Dallas, the last few possessions that they've had, they're starting to get something going. I think this is a wise decision on Belichick's part, saying, hey, let's try to pin them down a little deeper.
Besco, end over end punt. And a flag is down. It looked like there was contact made. Anthony Spencer and Zoltan Mesko.
Running into the kicker, number 93 of the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Wow. That's a huge play.
Yeah, not very smart on Anthony Spencer's part. You know, these guys are shown where the launch point is going to be on those punts, and he wasn't even trying to block it. He was just running by and didn't take into account where he was going to come down. But you know, right here, he could have just stopped. Instead, he just runs through it, and they get the call, and rightfully so.
So an automatic first down for Brady and the Patriots at the 34-yard line and looking for the big one. Incomplete. You can see the difference already for the Cowboys on defense with Orlando Scandrick back in their lineup.
Well, he was their best corner. He was their best corner coming out of training camp. Signed a big contract. And it certainly helps them having their 3 top corners healthy for the first time this season.
Hit though. Easy sword. Sword. Help him go.
it to the inside, and he's to the 30. So a third down and a long 5 coming up.
Well, Rob Ryan that time he brought Frank Walker on a blitz from the wide side of the field. The run was away from him, but he's pulling out all the stops.
Read it.
Hernandez a first down to the 21-yard line. Well, those tight ends have been money in the bank for Tom Brady.
That's tough duty right there. You see it's similar to the touchdown that Wes Welker scored there in that first half. Skandrick's guarding against the inside route, and then he has leverage to the outside.
Brady forever to throw it, and the ball is on the ground, and a penalty flag comes down. Hernandez, the intended receiver, it looked like it was stripped away, but the flag came in late.
Couldn't really see exactly what the flag was for. I know Spencer, Anthony Spencer, the outside linebacker, he tried to get his hands.
There's no foul on the play. We have a fumble and a recovery. First down, Dallas.
That's Brady James, whose playing time has diminished this year. But what a huge strip right there by James. Newman covers it up. The Patriots had not lost a fumble this entire year. They had only put the ball on the ground one time. That was on a punt return. Well, they had the kickoff return, fumble for a turnover, and now the first fumble offensively all year long for New England. 13-13 game. They pitch it to DeMarco Murray.
We go back and take a look at what's happening, and there's the fumble. Brady James is the one who comes in, but you know, the Cowboys defense, they lined up over the ball and had not really dispersed to where they were going to line up, and a lot of communication taking place between Sean Lee and Brady James before the snap of that ball, and pretty easy completion really to Aaron Hernandez, but Brady James able to make a heck of a play on the strip.
We go to the fourth quarter. We're back after a word from your local Fox station. Set to begin the fourth quarter. 13-13.
Well, this fourth quarter, this is kind of when the funds began for Tony Romo this year.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Yes, it does.
Jason Witten on first down. That's a good start to the fourth quarter. Of course, in week one, Romo turned the ball over twice in the fourth quarter, one on a fumble, the other in an interception and a loss to the Jets. And then 2 weeks ago, 3 interceptions in the second half, 2 returned by touchdowns, as Dallas blew a 27-3 lead. First carry here in the second half for Felix Jones, and it's a good one. Murray, I beg your pardon.
We'll go back and take a look at that fumble. You're going to see the Cowboys there defensively in somewhat of a muddle huddle, and then Sean Lee trying to explain to Brady James who's got who. Aaron Hernandez comes off the ball. He's signaling to Brady, hey, give it to me, I'm open. And it was a nice completion, an easy completion, but then you got the strip by Brady James. That's some of the various looks that Rob Ryan has shown, and some of the things, quite frankly, that were successful for him a year ago when he was at Cleveland as defensive coordinator.
Blitz coming. Dallas picks it up. And Austin the first down to the 46-yard line.
I'm going to tell you, Dallas, they're not huddling up either. I mean, this is not an offense that is trying to slow the game down. You know, they feel that they've got New England on their heels, and they've been going to the no huddle here on this possession also.
Blitz comes again, and a perfect throw through the midst of Miles Austin. Well, Fox, tonight things get intense on an all-new X Factor as the talent, mentoring, and performances continue at the judges' homes. Will your favorite make the cut? X Factor, all new tonight. Following football, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox.
Let's get right. Let's get right.
Hit as he threw, and incomplete. Big pressure that time by Brandon Spikes.
Yeah, they really had not gotten pressure on Romo in a little while, but Spikes is able to come up the middle on the blitz. You can see him right over the center. Costa, and that ball, if he gets a little bit more, you see him, he gets his hand, and if that ball had gotten up a little bit more, a good chance for an interception on that play. And watching Des Bryant get out of the huddle, it's been a little while now since he's had a catch. And his body language is starting to suggest that he's ready for another ball in his direction.
Juggled in, then out of the hands of Miles Austin. So 4th down, and Dallas will punt.
Well, this was a nice route. Kyle Arrington is underneath. He never sees the ball thrown. Once he sees that Austin's trying to make the catch, he uses his hands and knocks it loose. But that's a ball that Miles Austin typically catches. And, again, he's missed some time. He's his first game back after having missed the last couple of weeks. We've seen him and Romo not on the same page. The Cowboys got a little different look here.
End over end punt. And Walker will let it bounce into the end zone. 13-13 game, and now we check on a penalty flag that comes in just in front of the New England sideline. Miles Austin had a big drop there, though, on 1st down.
Ineligible downfield prior to the kick. Number 51 of the kicking team. That 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the play. 1st down.
So now Brady gets his first chance here in the 4th quarter.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by New Line Cinemas of Very Harold and Kumar 3D Christmas in theaters November 4th. By Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. And by Bank of America.
Let's take a look at our then and now on Drew Bledsoe. 9 years for the Patriots, 2 seasons in Dallas. What's he up to these days?
Well, one of the really great guys to have ever put on a uniform, and he's involved in a lot of different business ventures, and one of which is he has his own winery called Doubleback Winery, and he's been very successful with it. It's there in Walla Walla, Washington, where Drew grew up. But recently inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame and got quite an ovation here when he showed up for that at halftime.
1st down, they set up the screen. Wow, that had disaster written all over it. It's interesting to note about Drew Bledsoe. We were talking about it last night. You look at these 2 quarterbacks in the game. Tom Brady for New England, Tony Romo for Dallas. Both of those guys replaced Drew Bledsoe as a starter for each of these teams.
And we had dinner with Bob Kraft last night, as you mentioned, and we talked about Drew Bledsoe. Thinks of him as one of his sons.
Woodhead up to the 30-yard line.
In fact, Bob Kraft said he'll forever be indebted to Drew Bledsoe for being the face of the franchise through the first 7-8 years of his ownership.
On the defense. 5-yard penalty.
It was a tough time for that man right there when the decision was made to let Drew Bledsoe go and stick with Tom Brady. And of course, he has a great deal of fondness for Tom Brady as well. But he's one of the fortunate owners who's had tremendous play at that position under his ownership.
We'll take a timeout. 12:45 to play in Foxborough. Well, the always animated defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, Rob Ryan, really upset about that call. 12 men on the field.
Boy, he made it known too.
Black 88! Black 88! Set!
Second and 5. And Green Ellis for a first down up to the 37.
This defense, you know, we talked coming in and the job that they've done against the run, and to hold New England at this point in the fourth quarter, it's only 13 points. This defense for Dallas has done a remarkable job.
And really, it's been the running game that has been the best part of the New England offense, as it's been really for the last 2 weeks against Oakland and then the Jets.
That's right, and Rob Ryan said coming into this game that, hey, they can hand it off 60 times for all I care. In fact, I hope they do, because he feels like the offense runs through Brady, which it certainly has. They haven't given up the big plays, but they have been able to keep the ball on the ground and have success and take time off this clock as well. New England, as far as how they have run the ball, running the ball probably better than anyone anticipated coming in.
False start, number 84, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That poor official next to Rob Ryan down here, he's getting worked over pretty good.
Of course, back-to-back weeks for Belichick and the Patriots against Orion. They had a Rex last week.
Yeah, they were asking him if he had talked to his brother this week. Rob Ryan said he won't return his call.
Big hit at the line of scrimmage by Victor Butler.
Well, now you get New England into a 3rd and long situation. Overall here today, New England has been good on 3rd down, but you see Victor Butler, he's able to defeat the block and make a big stop.
And it's been primarily 3rd down receptions by the tight end.
50! Ryan.
What a throw by Brady, right on the money to Deion Branch, and that's a first down.
That's right, Tom, because it was good coverage by corner Mike Jenkins, and he put the ball right where it had to be. Protect the receiver, low and away, and Deion Branch is able to go down and make a play where only he could make it.
Closing in on 10 minutes to go here in Foxborough.
There.
And that's a first down to the 32.
3-man rush by Dallas, and another ball just threaded on the money by Tom Brady.
Hey, I'm back. Hold on. 4. 73. 73. Tito. 73. That's cool.
Tom Brady, he's calling out the routes to these guys at the line.
Blitz coming, and he got it away. Coming off the corner, Orlando Scandrick.
Here's the big 3rd down catch by Deion Branch. You see the location of that throw, just perfect for the 3rd down conversion. And then this is the one back to Gronkowski. You had Sean Lee underneath that route, and it had to be perfect in order to get past him. And so many times we see that from Tom Brady.
Brady rolling, and it's intercepted by Sean Lee. Another huge turnover for Brady and the Patriots.
Not exactly sure what Brady saw on that throw, but a heck of an athletic play by Sean Lee. He's underneath it. He's able to go up and at least bat it up in the air and then still come down with the interception. He's probably been the biggest playmaker on this defense this season. You see, there's 2 defenders on Aaron Hernandez where it looked like that might have been where he was trying to throw it over Sean Lee. What a great play there by the linebacker.
And Butler there on the hit. So 13-13, 9:09 to go. DeMarco Murray runs right through the would-be tackle of Devin McCourty. Murray's had a nice game here, filling in for the injured Felix Jones.
Well, he sure has. You know, didn't really know exactly what they were going to get out of him because of the injury through camp like you talked about, but he has filled in here this evening and has done a nice job. And both of these offenses playing awfully fast.
Flag down.
They got the rookie right tackle, Tyron Smith. So here you are at second and short.
Holding, number 77, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
You know, Dallas has done a much better job overall this season in terms of penalties, but fourth quarter is where they have committed nearly 45% of their penalties this year.
Well, and that's why they've got a 2-2 record, you know, and have lost a couple of games that they shouldn't have lost along with the turnovers. But, you know, you've got to play your best ball in the last quarter of regulation, and that hasn't been the case with this Cowboys team thus far.
Romo will run it, and he can run. And slides his way to a first down all the way up to the 47-yard line. And Romo.
Well, that's what happens when you go man coverage. The Patriots go man coverage. Everybody is running with their back to the line of scrimmage, and the guy who's not accounted for then is the quarterback. Romo recognizes that. Not an overly fast guy, but certainly with no one there in the middle of the field, he's able to pick up the first down.
The longest run of the season for Romo, a 17-yard run, and there's a dangerous throw. Big hit by Albert Hainsworth. First time we've called his name.
That's that throw that gets Romo in trouble from time to time. He had pressure, and when he has pressure then in his face, he unloads it earlier than what he wants to, hoping that maybe he can make a play. And if that ball had anything else on it, there were a couple of defenders there that could have made a play on it.
What will the final 7:34 hold for Romo? And a catch and run by LaRon Robinson down the sideline. And we'll see where they spot it. Run out of bounds at the 22, and that's a first down.
Ron Robinson, he's a guy who's really had an impact. Another big receiver here, and Devin McCourty's in good position, good ball placement by Romo, but he just fails to make the tackle. You know, that was one of the things discussed by this Patriots defense because of the size of these Cowboys receivers, limiting the yards after the catch.
34-yard gain. And a big-time hit down at the 10-yard line, but Kevin Ogletree somehow, unbelievably somehow, hangs on to the football.
Well, you're assuming that Romo saw Patrick Chung driving on this ball, because if this ball's out in front, well, it was out in front. I thought it was on the back shoulder, but Chung saw the throw and was driving on it awfully hard. Ogletree does a great job hanging on.
I like that hit by Chung, almost trapped the ball in his chest.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Lexus. It's time to engineer amazing.
First and goal for Dallas, 13-13 game. 16-25 and counting. They're going to throw it on first down. Set up the screen to Bennett, and he's down to the 5-yard line. couple of Cowboys injured on the play. Bennett was first slow to get up.
It looks like left guard Bill Nagy.
We'll take a look at the rookie out of Wisconsin. We'll step aside. Nagy has to lead. They bring in Kevin Kowalski, of course, here without Derek Dockery, who's out with a broken tibia. Second and goal, incomplete.
Well, Des Bryant, he was wanting an opportunity on that play. He's walking back to the huddle, and he got the one-on-one matchup, and that's the one that he's wanting. And then Jason Witten, he was wanting to call. You see there, Gary Guyton in coverage. I didn't see a whole lot there.
Only game Kowalski has played is when he replaced Costa in San Francisco. Third and goal. Oh, the inside shovel pass did not fool New England defensively. Brandon Spikes leading the charge.
You know, you got Gary Guyton, who's going to work over Kowalski there at left guard, and he's able to work right into it. You see it here, Gary Guyton, he's going right to that area where they brought in Kowalski, and he's just right there to make a play. A nice job there defensively by New England, even though they gave up some yardage. But again, to hold up and force a field goal is huge, especially for a defense that has not been very good in the red zone this year.
Bailey 2 out of 2, 26 yards out, make it 3 out of 3 in the game. So now Brady and the Patriots will get the football with 5:13 remaining, trailing by 3. Des Bryant urging his team to hang on and make some plays here with a 3-point lead, a little over 5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, to both the offensive side of the ball and the defense as well. And, you know, this is a great opportunity. They know that. To come in here, you know, Jerry Jones talked about it during the week that, you know, for a team that has been up and down and inconsistent through their first 4 games, to come on the road against a team that is awfully tough to beat at home. And here they are right here at 16-13 in the fourth quarter. Pretty big.
Stephen Ridley from the goal line. And he's up to the 22. We take a peek ahead next week. NFL on Fox doubleheader and some good ones. Redskins and the Panthers, Bears and the Bucks from London. Falcons and the Lions. Some of you will see early, then America's Game of the Week late. You and I will be in Minnesota for the Packers and the Vikings. Other will see the Rams and these Cowboys. It begins with a Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show, noon Eastern. Screen to Gronkowski. He has been Brady's favorite target today. That's his 6th catch. In fact, the tight ends have 12 receptions of the 19 completions in the game by Brady. What a job Dallas has done on Wes Welker.
Well, they've done a good job on Wes Welker. They've done a good job really overall, because as we talked about how explosive this offense is, the number of points that they can put on the board, to hold them to 13 points with under 5 minutes to play is an outstanding job.
And making a play again is Sean Lee.
He just tried running that, you know, really right into the teeth of that defense. And, you know, here they are now looking at a 3rd down. And, you know, this is an area where defensively Dallas has not been very good.
Third down. Brady looking around. Gets it away, incomplete. So with 3:46 left, Bill Belichick sends out the punt team. What a huge 3rd down stop for the Cowboys. 2:46 to go. 3 and out for New England. And now Mesko to give the ball back to Tony Romo and the Cowboys. Harris fields cleanly. Run out of bounds at the 28. Well, we figured on a lot of scoring in this game, but it was ugly early. Each team turned it over twice in the first quarter.
Well, it was ugly early in the game, and then in the second quarter, both of these offenses started to settle in, and we anticipated to start this second half that we would see a lot of offense here over the last 30 minutes. That has not been the case. How about the job that the Cowboys defense just did? When the Patriots have the ball down 3 points, so many times we've seen them drive the length of the field, score a touchdown, take time off the clock. We saw it last week to ice the game against the Jets. And for Rob Ryan and that defense to force a 3 and out, that is a great piece of work by that defensive group.
That was only the 8th 3 and out the entire year for New England. Murray dropped 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, and this Patriots defense, they've done a nice job as well. You know, I mean, both of these offenses are explosive, big play offenses. Both defenses have played well. But now they're being asked to make another key stop and not allow Dallas to take the time off the clock and run this thing out.
This is a must 3 and out defensively for New England. Dallas gets a first down. It's going to make it very tough. First 2 downs played perfectly by New England. Now 3rd down, and the question becomes for Jason Garrett, does he put the ball in the air? New England's going to spend a timeout.
Well, what's hard now is, you know, do you put the ball in the air on 3rd and long? You know, 3rd and what, 14, 3rd and 15. You know, the chances of converting that aren't real good. I mean, if you come back with some type of screen pass that's high percentage, you can keep the clock running and force them maybe to burn another timeout. But you're right, two big plays there defensively by New England to not give the Cowboys really a whole lot of options as far as what they want to do here on 3rd down. The last thing they want to do is try to pick up this first down and have an incompletion, and then you've got very little time off the clock. You've still got your timeouts with plenty of time giving the ball back to New England.
False start on the 77. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Now you saw it just enough. Just a little bit of that right hip, which is what Vince Wilfork is. That's what he's focused on. You wonder now if that changes the call that Jason Garrett had called before the penalty.
3rd and 18.
I think they run some type of screen play.
Will stop. Did New England call another timeout? And for some reason the clock is not running. It is a timeout by New England. 2:42 to play. Following football, the OT presented by Lowe's coming up next. And thereafter the X Factor, a big night right here on Fox.
Who would have thought coming into this game with as much offense as these two teams had shown, that it really has been a defensive effort. Two great defensive jobs there, both by the Cowboys and the Patriots, especially there by the Patriots, to give their offense one more opportunity.
Big time punt again by McBriar, backing up Welker inside the 10. Pretty good return by Welker out to the 20-yard line. Well, the idea for Rob Ryan coming into this game was to physically hit Brady and to mentally challenge Brady.
Well, they did that. They certainly roughed him up a little bit, and then when he did have a little bit of time, some of those hits came because there was such good coverage on the other end. Rob Ryan, as we said, coming in, he wanted to not necessarily confuse him, he just wanted to make him uncomfortable. I think he was successful in doing that.
Tom Brady has not lost a regular season home start since November the 12th of 2006. 30 straight wins. He starts this drive with a completion to Aaron Hernandez, the first down to the 36.
The Cowboys brought pressure, and then you match up one-on-one. You want to be real careful as to how much you do that. We really have not seen the Patriots be able to take many shots down the field. I would anticipate one or two on this drive.
Brady hit as he throws, but it's caught by Gronkowski, and that's another first down.
That's a great throw by Tom Brady, under pressure right in his face, and no margin for error on that throw. If you underthrow that one, that ball is intercepted. He gets it out, lays it out on the sideline. Nice completion.
Quick throw to Welker, and he gets into Dallas territory to the 47. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Tom Brady in his Hall of Fame career. 31 career game-winning fourth-quarter touchdown drives. We remind you coming up, it's the OT presented by Lowe's. And thereafter the X Factor right here on Fox. We talked about Brady as a starter in the regular season has won 30 in a row. Overall, New England has won 19 straight. Their last loss came against the Steelers November 30th of 08. That was the year Brady was injured, you may remember.
4 down. 57 to Mike.
There, over here, right.
Welker, a first down catch. He beats Scandrick to the 38.
Yeah, that's the one route where Welker has had some success. It's the same technique by Orlando Scandrick, and not an easy throw to make. And that's a ball you really got to lay to the outside, as I said a moments earlier, that if that thing's behind, you've got some real problems. But Welker so quick there on the inside, very difficult cover guy.
Bring the blitz. Brady steps up, lays it off to Woodhead, and he's to the 30.
Well, right now, Tom Brady knows they're in position in order to tie this ball game up. Still plenty of time. No need to rush, and he's not. But he's not going to try to force anything either.
Read it. Alpha, go!
Well, he saw that communication, even just looking over there before the snap with Welker. Welker cut it to the inside, and it was played beautifully by Scandrick.
It really was, because Scandrick, as we know, we've seen Welker go to the outside over and over and over. One of the touchdowns he had was the same route to the outside. This time they're going to try to set him up to the outside, come up underneath. If he catches that ball, he's going to get a lot of yardage, and a good play there by Orlando Scandrick.
Interesting call here, 3rd and 1. Brady's going to take it himself. They needed to convert. It'd be a very long field goal try. First down.
See Matt Light getting up a little bit slow, and they're still trying to conserve some time here. The idea is still obviously to come away with the touchdown.
Woodhead inside the 15.
It was so good by Tom Brady, just not forcing anything down the field. You know, as a defense, you start worrying so much about those outside guys and the routes up the seam that the underneath things like that to Woodhead, you can get some nice gains.
A fine Walker dropped immediately by Scandrick. Clock continues to run. Patriots have one timeout left.
Yeah, they're in good shape because they can throw to the end zone or they can come underneath. Now they used their last timeout. I thought they were going to get one more play off. Then they could throw it anywhere they wanted, knowing they had a timeout in their pocket. And if the clock was running, they could then use the timeout.
Vintage Brady on his drive.
Well, it's just, it's Joe Montana-like. I mean, you think back to the many drives that he had to end games. You don't have to necessarily force the ball down the field because defenses, just by their nature, are worried about giving up the big play. A lot of things open up underneath, and there's a lot more time than what a lot of people realize in those situations. Tom Brady, as I said, 12th year, he's been in this situation at the highest stage in Super Bowls. He knows better than anybody how to operate this no-huddle offense.
Four down. Bear. Watch him.
Second down from the 8. Looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Aaron Hernandez.
First, he wanted to go to Rob Gronkowski on the out route. You're going to see Brady. He recognizes the double team to the outside. He comes back to the middle and sees Aaron Hernandez. That is great discipline by Tom Brady, recognizing the defense, what they were taking away, and where his one-on-one matchup was to Hernandez on the back line.
It's a very important point after here. And they got it. With Tom Brady. 115 wins in his 148 regular season starts. That's a winning percentage of 78%, the best of all quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era.
He's a cool customer back there in the pocket, and you know, when the Patriots got this ball, there's probably not a lot of people that didn't think that Tom Brady was going to drive them down here and at least put them in a position to go into overtime. That's great execution right there by this offense. And as I said, you know, Rob Ryan, whose defense has been outstanding in this game, he put together a heck of a game plan. This game's far from being over. But a great defense, and Rob Ryan will be the first to tell you, when the game's on the line and you have to make a play, it doesn't matter what you've done for 58 minutes. You have to finish the game and make a play. Instead, the Patriots made the play, and Tom Brady did, and he's been making them for a long time.
Well, if they can make this lead stand over the final 22 seconds, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick would tie Don Shula and Dan Marino for the most wins by a head coach and a quarterback tandem going back to the 1970 merger. Each tandem would have 116 wins. Shula and Marino lost 68. Belichick and Brady have lost 33. Take the knee. Cowboys have 2 timeouts left.
You just know from experience working against Bill Belichick, he's the best there is at working situational football, and you can bet that this defense has gone over this and over this and over this going back to training camp and each week. 22 seconds on the clock, you've got a 4-point lead. Team's got 2 timeouts, and how you manage that then defensively to keep from giving up the big plays to end this game.
Well, they have 3 defenders standing all the way back in midfield. Catch up to the 31. That took a lot of time. Timeout.
came in talking about this New England defense and the struggles that they have been through. And even though last week they had a nice game against the New York Jets, we knew they were really going to be tested against this Cowboys offense. Even though they were facing a quarterback who had been relatively inconsistent, this offense for the Dallas Cowboys had put up a lot of yardage. I've been impressed with what I've seen of this New England Patriots defense as well. They played really well here in this game.
Down the middle of the field, that is a catch at the 49 and a timeout. Stopping the clock with 7 seconds left, so it'll give Romo a legitimate shot for a Hail Mary to the end zone.
Yeah, you got a Hail Mary here, or, you know, the other thing that we've seen from the Cowboys over the years is, you know, they'll hit something quick on the sideline, get them out of bounds, still have time on the clock, and give yourself a little bit better opportunity to get the ball higher in the air and let your big guys make a play on it. Well, they're either going to throw something quick to get a few more yards and then throw the Hail Mary, or they're going to drop back now and try to get these guys down the field as best they can, hope protection holds up versus a 3-man rush.
Well, we got Rob Gronkowski back there. He's got to let it fly now. Out of bounds. Brady and the Patriots. A 4th quarter rally. Final drive rally to win their 20th consecutive home game. For Brady, his 31st consecutive regular season win. And again, Brady and Belichick tied. Dan Marino and Don Shula. The most wins by a head coach and a quarterback tandem. 116 victories. 2016 our final.